one of the questions is, what inspired you to become a criminologist?
Oh,
It's a hard one.
I, I honestly, I don't. It was the allure of customs and border protection at first. That, like, thinking what would be the best course to have, what would be the best university degree in order to enter that field. And
Mhm.
I was just talking to, when I was going to university open days as a year 12 student, that came across as the best course because it wasn't entirely legally orientated. It was more policing investigative stuff, but obviously in terms of the border, yeah, that's what brought me in to the course, but then unknowingly took a massive shift in direction and research interests. Yeah,
Which I think happens quite frequently. Like you start off in criminology having this like idea of where you want to go, but then as you study on long term and all that, you find, oh wait, I'm not as interested in that topic as I am in something else. So it's all about finding that things that you're passionate about in
exactly.
learning and everything. And that's how you get through a course.
Honestly, it's, and I tell this to every class of students I've got. It's far easier to write about something you're interested in because the writing and the researching is a lot better. It's driven by a passion. You can only write about CCTV or prison effectiveness so many times
Yeah.
until your mind goes numb.
Yes.
Um, so yes, passion, and that's, I'll ask any first year crim class I get compared to any third year crim class I get. I'll ask them the same question. All right, guys, what's your career aspirations? What's brought you into the course? What do you want to use your course for? And or have they changed once you've reached towards the end of your studies? I love hearing about these career aspirations, and a lot of students don't know, and that's completely fine. And that's why I just love the criminological field so much, because it's so multi-dimensional, it's so broad, it's colorful, it's flexible, that I have no idea. For example, I had no idea that I'd be doing this later on in life. So I tell those in crim, you don't just have to focus on common criminal offense types, all of which are, very significant and legitimate topics. But if there's a niche area that you want to focus on within crim, it's possible. For example, me telling students, you can be a climate change activist or work in the climate change field from a criminological approach, because criminology, it's not about law or that. It's about harm
Mhm.
and crime, and what they have in common and how they're defined and so forth. And well, conflict is just natural to the human species, and wherever there is any form of humanitarian conflict or any form of conflict or issue in general, there's going to be an element of harm, and that's where criminology gets involved. So my thesis technically is state, corporate, environmental crime. So a whole bunch of different categories of crimes of the powerful that I thought I would have even thought about writing about when I was in the undergrad. So I guess just because the crim field is so broad, there's so many different career opportunities that you can go into it after. You don't have to work within the criminal justice
Mhm.
system or be a police officer. You can obviously go into non-government organizations or help or relief centers for international or foreign aid, or more domestic or local issues ranging from domestic to family violence. Yeah, I I would highly recommend postgraduate study for those that are still driven by a passion or something that they want to know. And the other thing about postgraduate research is the people you meet in the class, or the other candidates and the other students that you socialize with over the next few years end up becoming some of your closest friends. So I've got my own little PhD buddy group, some of which maybe have been your tutors over the course of your studies. And we're going to keep those career connections and those friendships professionally and socially over the course of our lives. It's and just the networking. It's a good part. It's different to undergrad because obviously everyone's there, you're doing assignments and so forth, but there's a lot more independence and free reign when it comes to postgraduate study. For those that are still driven by passion or research but don't want to do postgrad study because of the time, there are obviously like graduate programs within government departments or anything like that. Yeah. If you can't tell, I tend to go off on multiple tangents, but I try to bring it back
It's
to
so
this.
good. It works though, because it's true. You've got
Yeah.
to, in a way, you're researching what you want to do as you're doing your criminology life
Yeah.
and everything like that. So it's good. Like, yeah, I like it. It's good.
And although if anyone does know what their area of research is, or just area that they want to pursue in life, as an undergraduate student, there is something you can do about it. Everyone's in quite a very powerful position, because what you can start by doing, and as what I did, is start learning the relevant literature, the themes, the authors, harnessing the flexibility of the assignment topics, getting this additional knowledge for you to take into either to the workforce after you've completed your studies, or postgrad study, or so forth. And then you continue, and you just continue to develop that. As a
Yeah.
criminologist, I'm always learning something. I'm always kind of challenging myself. And if someone were to ask me, what job do you want in the future? Within academia, that's largely, defined as a lecturer or something like that. But I'm a very easygoing person. I'll take whatever opportunity comes up. If I ask what defined job position do you want in the future, I don't know. As long as I get to focus on environmental crime, I'll go where that takes me. And that obviously that's worked out, has been extremely beneficial, having the PhD, going into the grant, as well as teaching and so forth, and that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So